Okay, so I'm going to show you the fastest way to get to 10K with Amazon KDP. Now, I work with hundreds of publishers. I have hundreds of students in my program. So I work with many publishers, and I've seen common things between them, some good things, some bad things. And then I've seen people scale from nothing to 10K. I've seen people scale from 1,000 to 10,000 a month. I've seen people do it from 2,000 to 10,000 a month. So there's common factors between the people that were able to get to 10K a month and the people that are still stuck at 1,000, 2,000 or below. Now, I'm going to show you the main thing that I see between these so you guys can actually start fixing your businesses and you can get to 10K as quickly as possible, because that's what we all want, right? 10K is usually the number everyone aims for. If you're at 10K, great. Now it's much easier for you to scale to 20, 30 and beyond. Now, I don't know if you can tell from my drawing, this is actually Sonic. I'm guessing Sonic is the fastest thing I know. Sonic and the Flash. I actually like the Flash because we have the same name as well. Barry Allen. Obviously, the Flash has multiple names. I am a little bit of a nerd when it comes to comics. But anyway, Sonic. Sonic is super fast. So we want to be Sonic in order to get to 10K, right? We don't want to be, who's a slow character?
A slow character?
Yeah, do you know any slow superheroes? Who's the slowest superhero you know?
I don't know. The guy from Incredibles, I guess.
We don't want to be the dad from Incredibles then. I don't know how to draw the dad from Incredibles. I'll just do the eye and you'll know. Okay, this is the dad from Incredibles. We don't want to be slow, we want to be fast, obviously. So what do I see when it comes to publishers that were able to scale to 10K very quickly? Well, here's the thing. Let's just take publishing away from a second. And let's just say that we're making a restaurant. Okay, now we have to decide between a Mexican restaurant and a Italian restaurant. So we're either going to do a Mexican one or an Italian one. And let's say we're in Cyprus, because I'm in Cyprus right now. So let's just say we're in Cyprus, okay? And then we're trying to figure out what restaurant should we open, Mexican or Italian? Well, here's one piece of information. 10% of the Mexican restaurants in Cyprus make money. So that means 90% of them don't make money. When it comes to the Italian restaurants, 30% of them actually make money. And around 70% of them don't make money. So just on this piece of data alone, which restaurant should we open? Obviously, I know it's a business. We have to look at multiple different factors. But if we just take a look at this, it would make more sense to create an Italian restaurant, right? Because obviously we have a higher chance of making money. I don't know if this is 3 times higher chance because I'm not good at maths. I don't know how percentages and all of this works, but obviously we have a much higher chance at making money if we're going to do an Italian restaurant. Now, I've spoken to many publishers and I've helped many publishers. And here's the thing. The people that create the Mexican restaurants are the people that publish low content books. Now, I know most of you are going to click off now that I said low content, and fair enough, I can't control what you do, but it's your decision whether you want to stay or not. But I'm going to show you why switching over to high content is the best decision you can possibly make for your KDP publishing business. Not only for your business, but for your freedom to get more time, for less stress because the ads are easy and everything's just much easier afterwards anyway. You make more money in the long run. Don't worry, I'm going to show you everything. Every publisher's dream or dream lifestyle, whatever your dream lifestyle is much easier to achieve with high content. Now, sure, you can still achieve it with low content, but remember, we're not talking about how to get to 10K. We're talking about the fastest way to get to 10K. Now, whether you like this way or not, it doesn't matter. I'm here to show you the fastest way. See, every single video, I drop a whiteboard marker. So I think I need to get rid of all the whiteboard markers. Let's just get rid of all of these. Great. So now we have a clear board. Never going to drop a marker again. So this is not about actually just making 10K. It's about making it fast. Now I want to show you why high content is the fastest way to actually make 10K on KDP. Now, one of the arguments I hear, and I hear many arguments when it comes to low content books. Let's say this is our low content book. One of the arguments I hear is, oh, but I can make a low content book in 7 days and then it's going to take you 3 months to make a high content book. So let's say this is a high content book. So I'll be able to make money faster than you and be able to make more money than you because I'm going to have more books than you, because more books equals more money. At least that's what new publishers think. However, let's actually do the maths. Don't worry, I'm going to keep it simple because I'm not really good at maths either. Now, let's say we're making $2 profit for every single one of our low content books. I know, but Barry, I do $2.80. But Barry, I have a current book and it makes $3. Okay, everyone's different. I understand that. But again, I'm not good at maths. So multiplying by 2 is much easier than multiplying by 3. So we're going to make it very easy for both of us. Let's just say that we're making $2 profit and we're doing around 10 sales a day. So we got 10 sales a day, just to keep it even. Again, we're going to have 10 sales a day over here for the high content book, but this time we're making $7 profit, okay? I know 7 is a very hard number. 6 would have been much easier, but it's okay. Let's just make it more difficult for me. If we're doing 10 sales a day at $2, we're making $20 a day. Well done to us. We're officially a low content publisher and we're making a bunch of money. Now, if we decide to do the high content book, we're doing $7, 10 days, so we're doing $70 a day. Obviously, we're making more, but here's the thing. It only took us 7 days to make the low content book, but it took us 3 months to make the high content book. So we're already making a bunch of money before this one's even published. So the low content book has a head start because at the start it's much, much easier to create. So obviously it's going to give you a head start when it comes to making sales. Now let's actually calculate it. We published this book and we let it run for 3 months. We've made, I did the maths before because obviously I can't do this. I need a calculator. I think we make $1,800. So that's how much we made in the span of 3 months. We did $600 a month because 600 divided by 30, which is the days of the month, is $20, which is $20 a day. $20 a day times 30 days is 600. 600 times 3, which is the months. So 30 days times 3 is 1,800. So we made 1,800. Now here's the thing. This is how much money low content publishers made before we even published our high content book. This is a head start. That's a lot of money, right? Awesome. Well done to you, low content publisher. Now here's the thing. We published our book and we're doing 10 sales a day at $7. How long is it going to take for our book to make up the lost money that the low content had a head start on? Well, if I just take 1,800 and I divide it by 70, which is how much we're making a day, so the total amount divided by the amount that we're making per day is going to give us the amount of days that it needs, and that's around 25. So, sorry, Oli, it takes 20 days, 25 days to make up the money. What it took a low content book 3 months to create, we did it in the first 25 days. So, after the first 25 days, the low content book will obviously just make more money, be better, and be much easier to scale in the long run. Now, I know this isn't enough to convince people, oh yeah, but there's so many other different things that we need to think about. Okay, well, there's one more thing that I want to talk about when it comes to low content and high content, because this is one of the biggest differences I've seen between the publishers that actually make 10K and the publishers that are stuck on 1K, 2K, or even below. And that's Amazon ads, because everyone always complains about Amazon ads.
Oh, Barry, my Amazon ads aren't working. Please help me. Amazon ads are so expensive. Oh, please help me.
Amazon ads can be expensive. You might have to spend a lot of money if you're doing it wrong. If you're doing it right, it's actually probably the most effective marketing thing you could possibly have for your book. It's very, very cheap if you do it right. And obviously, it will give you good results if you do it right. If you do it wrong, obviously, you're going to spend a lot of money because you're giving money to something that doesn't work. So obviously, it's not going to make sense. If I get a car for $500 and the engine isn't working, then obviously I'm going to have to spend more money on the engine, getting it fixed. And if the tires haven't been changed in 10 years, then I have to spend more money on the tires. So no matter what we get, if it's not good already, then just giving more money to it is just you're going to have to spend just to maintain it. However, if I get a brand new Mercedes from 2022, I probably don't have to spend any money on maintenance for the next 2 years. I'm not going to change the tires. I actually don't know anything about cars. I don't know how when you're supposed to change the tires, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. If we have a very bad back end, so let's say we have in this case, we have a low content book, which is also a low profit book. So if we have a low profit book and then we just spend a bunch of money for us to sell that low profit book, then obviously we're going to make low profit. Now, if we have a high profit book and we spend a bunch of money on the high profit book, then obviously we'll make higher profit. I hope that makes sense. I hope I don't have to explain it any deeper than that. When it comes to Amazon ads, here's what I see. Let's say you're doing a low content book. Now, again, for math's sake, we're going to say it costs us $1 to acquire 1 click.
But Barry, I have clicks lower than $1, 85 cents. I have 65-cent clicks.
Okay, I get you. Don't worry about that. I'm going to cover that as well. However, again, for math's sake, because I'm not good at maths, let's just say that it's $1 cost per click. So in order for us to break even, we have to spend $2. However, this isn't actually our break even because this is not how you calculate your break even. And I see many publishers get this wrong. When you're calculating your break even, yes, this is your break even for the ads, but your ads aren't your entire business. Are you forgetting about organic? Does organic not exist? Is that not part of your business? Is that not the same exact book? Is that not getting sales? Because it's just one system. It's just 2 different parts. It's the same system. It's the same website that's getting the sales. It's the same data that's getting gathered. So organic and PPC they work the same. They work together. Yes, if it's $2 break even on Amazon ads, we have to think about it as a business. Now, let's say for every 1 PPC sale, we also get 1 organic sale. Okay, so this is a PPC sale, the colored in, and then this is the organic. So every time we get a PPC sale, we get an organic. We have a 50% organic to PPC ratio. So if we get 10 sales for PPC, we get another 10 sales in organic. So in total, we get 20 sales, 10 from PPC, 10 from organic. That's going to make the math super, super easy. So now, because we understand how the business actually works, our break even isn't $2. Our break even is $4. Great. Now, if our cost per click is $4, then that means that we can afford 4 clicks. Because it's $1 per click, we can afford 4 clicks. Well, this is our break even for our entire account. How difficult is it to get 1 sale in 4 clicks? That means you have to have an extremely high conversion rate, right? You have to have like a, 30%? No, 1 in 4 clicks, 25% conversion rate. You need a 25% conversion rate, which is absolutely insane. The average is 10% on Amazon. And with my shooters, we've seen 18%, 20% within the first 30 days. But 25%, that's very, very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult. And that's just for you to break even on your entire account, not just the ads. Now, what happens when we do a high content book? Well, with a high content book, again, $1 cost per click. We make $7. So $7 for the ads to be break even, and then $14 for the entire account to be break even. Now, for the entire account to be break even, that means our conversion rate has to be under 10%. I think it's like 8% or like 6%. Again, I don't know maths, but it is under 10% because if we get 1 sale every 10 clicks, that's a 10% conversion rate, right? We get 1 sale every 14 clicks. So again, we can afford a lower conversion rate. So our book, this book can be absolutely amazing, this low content book. Super high conversion rate, thousands of reviews, and then yes, you can start breaking even. But with high content, this book can be terrible and you can still make money. This book can be average and it can still make money, because the high profit actually helps you bring more money in to help you with the ads as well. So your ads aren't expensive. It's just your product doesn't bring in enough profit. So if we look at our break even in ads, 1 in 7 clicks, that's like I'm going to say 15% conversion rate. Stassi, can you do a calculation for me? I think it's 1 divided by 7.
1 divided by 7.
14. Okay, perfect. So it's a 14% conversion rate. So great. Just for us to break even on the ads, we can still afford a lower conversion rate than this to break even overall with a low content book. So it's much, much easier to scale your ads and make much more money with ads. Even if your book isn't the best book in the world, even if it's just average, it's still much, much easier to make money if you have a higher profit because you have a high content book. So obviously when it comes to scaling to 10K, it's a much, much better option. Or if you want to scale faster to 10K, this is the fastest way to scale, not this, because this one you're literally limiting yourself. Now again, throughout this video, I'm not saying you can't make money with low content books. I'm sure a lot of people make money with low content books. I'm sure a lot more of them make money with high content books, but there's still people making money with low content books. And low content books can work as well. However, I'm just saying, if you're trying to scale to 10K really fast, in my personal opinion, high content is the best way to go. Now, there's one more thing we need to talk about, because we're long-term publishers and we want to think long-term. And some of you want to sell this business. Some of you just want to go sip margaritas on the beach and have a Lamborghini outside. Some of you want to just retire and just have a bunch of money sitting there so you can actually use and live your life how you want to live it. So we're going to be thinking about this business long-term, because we're not just building a random side hustle to make $10, $50, $100 a month. We're building a real business so we can actually live our lives exactly how we want to live it. So in order for us to build a real business, we need to think in the long term, because real businesses, especially KDP publishing businesses, are built on the long term. Now, long term, what do we need to think about? Well, the first thing we need to think about, which is extremely important, is opportunity cost. Now, I'm not going to go super deep into opportunity cost, but it's very, very important to understand the basics. So if our low content book is making $600 every single month, and our high content book is making $1,800 every single month, even though it's a little bit more because we only measure 25 days, there's another 5 days in the month, but it's okay. Let's just say we're making lower profit and blah, 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 bunch of other things, just to make the math super, super simple. Now, we're making 1.8K every single month with our high content book, and we're making 600 with our low content book. Opportunity cost means, hey, what's the opportunity that you're missing out on? In other words, what money are you missing out on by not publishing high content books? So I know a lot of you out there have been publishing low content for months, some people even years, and still not making the money that you really want to make. And you feel like you deserve that money because obviously you spent so much time, you've invested so much time and money into the business, and it's not giving you back what you want. Well, here's the thing. You need to think about opportunity cost, because $600 every single month, if you're making a low content book, if you invested that time in a high content book, you'll be making $1,800. But because you didn't make a high content book, that means you're losing $1,200 every single month in opportunity cost. This is how much you're missing out every single month because you chose low content instead of high content. Now, here's the thing. We're long-term publishers. We don't care about the monthly income. We care about the big numbers, right? So the monthly one, if we times that by 12, that's, I'm going to say 12 is 12K plus 2.4. So it's 14,400. This is our opportunity cost that we're missing out every single year because we chose to publish low content books. We're missing out on 14.5K every single year. Now, if you're thinking about selling the business, again, don't know if that's something that you want to do. Maybe some of you just want to sit and have that cash flow coming in. Fair enough. Some of you might want to sell the business, just sit on a bunch of money. If you want to sell the business, then let's just times it by 3 because most of these businesses are multiples of 30, 35, sometimes 40 if it's really good and everything's structured correctly and you have a business that everything is completely outsourced. That's usually what they look for. But anyway, let's just say times 3 just to have a, we're going to be conservative with our numbers. So times 3. Times 3 is what? That's 30K plus another 12K and then 4 times 3, another 1,200. So in total 30, 42, 43, 200. Again, I dropped Dolly this time. You get me? I'm super clumsy. I got back problems as well. I shouldn't be bending over. But anyway, don't make a sexual joke out of that. Now, 43,200. This is actually our opportunity cost. 43,200. This is how much we're missing out because we decided to publish a low content book instead of a high content book. This is your opportunity cost. 43K, conservatively speaking, 43K if you're thinking like a long-term publisher. I know some of you are just thinking, hey, I just want my monthly income. Great. Well, you're missing out on 1.2K every single month because you chose low content instead of high content. So from a business perspective alone, high content is the fastest way to get to 10K because this is what I've seen with my clients. I'm not just saying things just to say things. This is what I've seen. This is my personal experience. From me, from my clients, from people that actually make money, I see high content is like, if someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I'm making 10K a month. I'm like, okay, how many high content books do you have? I don't even ask them if they have low content because everyone I talk to that has low content is usually stuck at $2,000 a month or below. Now, if that's you, then you have some thinking to do. Now, I know a lot of you actually have brands. So you have low content books, you have a bunch of coloring books, and they're all in the same brand. Kind of like what Coco Woe is doing. I mean, that's what everyone uses as an example. Barry, I can make money because Coco Woe is making money. Well, yeah, Elon Musk is making money with SpaceX, but I'm not going to start a space company because Elon Musk is doing it. But anyway, let's say you have a brand. Okay, and because you have a brand, let's say you can justify a higher price so you make higher profit because you have 3 books in the same brand. So if you have coloring books, let's say this is a car coloring book, train coloring book, and motorcycle coloring book. And all these 3 coloring books are going to be under the coloring book for boys brand or something, whatever your name is going to be. And let's say you're doing $3 profit because you built a brand, you have authority, probably have a bunch of reviews on your books as well. And then people know you, you can justify a higher price because of your brand authority. Now, let's say you're doing $3 profit each sale because you can justify a higher price, make more profit. Well, in this case, we're making $9 in lifetime value. This is what you think about if you're trying to build a long-term business. Lifetime value. So when it comes to lifetime value, this is with one customer, how much money can I possibly make with one customer if they buy my entire brand? So if I pay for ads and I pay $1.60 for someone to click on my book and then they bought the first book and then because I already have them as a customer, maybe they join my email list or whatever marketing you're going to do. And then they're like, okay, they release a second book. I'm going to buy the second book. Oh, they release a third book. I'm going to buy the third book as well. These are your best customers. The maximum lifetime value you can have for your brand is $9. Well, when it comes to high content books, if you have 3 high content books and you're doing $7, again, I'm going to be conservative and just say, hey, we don't have brand authority and we didn't justify a higher price and we're not going to increase our profit or anything like that. Let's just stick with the original number for the high content book. Well, in this case, we're doing 7 plus 7, which is 14, plus 7, which is 21. So $21 is our lifetime value. Now, it makes more sense, right? If you're running a long-term business and you're also thinking about creating a brand, then doesn't it make sense? Since you're going to put so much effort into it anyway, it's a lot of effort to make 3 books, regardless if it's coloring books or high content books. If you're doing it correctly, it requires a lot of effort for both. I'm not saying it's easy. It does require effort. I'm not going to sit here and pretty sure, yes, it's the easiest thing you can do. No, it requires effort and it requires some mind and some knowledge. So if you have that knowledge and you have that willpower to do this and you don't really care about how hard it is, you just want to do it because you value your lifestyle that you want to achieve more than the difficulty of the work today, then great. Why invest your time in low content books that give you $9 lifetime value instead of high content books that give you $21? In fact, one sale from this is basically the lifetime value of your entire brand. Almost. Again, not justifying a higher price, and then here justifying a higher price. So again, I'm just being conservative here. Now, one more thing, because before I promised that some people say, oh, but Barry, I have an 80-cent click-through rate, and I have not click-through rate, cost per click. And I have a 65-cent cost per click. But Barry, I have a 35-cent cost per click. Great. Some people argue that having a lower cost per click is better because I get to save money on ads. Oh, I get to save money on ads. I get to make more profit. I make money with my book. I don't think that's how it works. Now, here's the thing. Let's say we both have a book in the same niche. Or no, let's just say you're doing coloring books and I'm doing life skills for teens. Oh, there's too many of them anyway. So let's just say I'm doing life skills for teens. Well, here's the thing. You're doing low content right here. And you're paying, let's say, for you to even break even, you're paying 60 cents. Now, again, I know it's different for each niche, and each niche has different bids and different auctions and competitors and things like that. Understandable. But you're paying 60 cents cost per click, and I'm paying $1.20. Now, if you're brand new to publishing and you don't really understand the entire business and how everything works and the algorithm and everything like that, if you just see it from a money perspective and you're inexperienced, you're going to say, okay, I want to pick this one because I'm paying less for ads. And everyone's thinking, okay, if I pay less for ads, I will make more money. In certain circumstances, yes, but not in this case. In this case, if you're paying 60 cents, then there's a very, very high chance that your competitors are bidding way more than you. Very high chance. If they are bidding more than you, then guess what happens? You're not showing up here, you're not showing up here, and you're not showing up here. I'm actually going to put an X here. None of these are you. You're actually down here because you paid 60 cents. This guy might pay 62. This guy might pay 71. This guy might pay 81. This guy might pay 92. And this guy might pay 120 because it's a big publisher and he can afford it, has higher profit margins or whatever. I don't know why he's paying more, but let's just say he's paying more. So because you're willing to bid 60 cents just for you to break even and actually make some money with your low content books, you're sacrificing your ranking. So you're ranking very, very low. I am paying 120. And I might show up here for 120. And I still might have people bidding higher than me, 130 and 132. And this is my break even. But these people under here are the people that are saying, no, I'm going to be conservative. If I spend less money on ads, it's going to work better. So I'm just going to spend less money. And this guy's 60 and this guy's on like 35 cents. This is the Amazon sales page, by the way. Not sales page, the search results, by the way. So if you're paying 60 cents, then you're ranking very, very low. You're paying to rank very low. Well, guess what? Where do you think the most amount of clicks on the Amazon search results goes towards? Do you think it goes towards the bottom of the page or the top of the page? The top of the page. So the first 3 clicks actually the first 3 results get most of the clicks. So if you're up here, you're going to get 4 times more clicks than if you're anywhere below here. So the fact that you're bidding less just to break even because you have low profits and everything, I'm not saying you should bid more if you have low content books. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, hey, here's a bunch of different reasons why high content works way better. So if you're bidding very, very low, then you're forcing your book to grow slow. You're forcing it to grow slow. Well, I can actually afford to bid higher because of my niche and everything, and I have higher profit margins and I'm less likely to lose money. Well, I'm forcing my book to grow faster. Well, guess what Amazon appreciates more? Does Amazon appreciate faster growing books more or slower growing books more? Obviously, faster growing books more. So if I'm getting 4 times more clicks than you, then I'm getting 4 times more sales. And then I'm also growing 4 times faster because I'm showing up higher. People are more clicks, more sales. Everything's just much faster. So if I want to achieve 10K per month, then obviously, this is the faster way. And that's what this video is all about. It's not about you. No, you can't make money with low content. It's about you. It's about the fastest way that you can get to 10K per month with KDP. And from what I've seen and from my clients, that's with high content books. Now, if you're still concerned and you're publishing low content books and you actually want to publish high content books, we don't really know what to do, I can show you everything if you want. You can just click on the description, you figure out what to do. If you just want to continue on YouTube, then here's what I would recommend. This video that just popped up here, super valuable video. Go watch it. Again, I analyze low content versus high content. I think you're going to find it very, very valuable. And yeah, go out there and make a bunch of money with KDP.